And I'm gonna take my thread from where it's at under here. Oops. Oh, there it is. I thought I lost my ear, but I didn't. All right, I'm gonna first come up here where my nose is, and I'm going to stitch around my nose. And I simply went from here up to there where that nose is. So my nose is stitched on, and now I'm going to come up to where my ear is going to be laying down, and I'm going to stitch around my ear. You can see on the back, I just jumped from one to another. I have now stitched on my ear, and I'm pretty sure I have enough thread to go ahead and stitch this other ear on. So I'm gonna lay it on there. Gonna kind of hold it with my hand. And let me tell you, nobody should look the same. I don't want anybody's project to look like my project. You are learning how to stitch things together right now. You're not learning how to make art just like Miss Jack's, okay? Or just like somebody else. So I'm going to come back in here. My thumb is holding that fabric down, and I'm gonna keep stitching. This project is going to take you hours. Okay, this is not something you're gonna finish probably in one sitting. It looks like I'm finishing it in one sitting here because you don't see me doing other things. But this may take you days. You may decide to add a lot more detail than I did, or you may decide to look around your house and find some other materials that you can use, and you can do your own embroidery with found materials. Okay, so I am done with these ears. I don't think I want to do anything else with this color, so I'm gonna cut it, leaving about a finger's width of thread so that I can cut it, and that way I have a little bit of extra thread here in case I decide I want that color for something else. And I'm gonna come over here and grab one of my other colors. So yours are just in a little hand roll, but mine are actually still on these crochet thread rolls. I'm going to put my needle, my thread, in my little paper. I'm gonna put my paper through here. Okay, I'm gonna pull both ends together. And I'm going to show you on the table again. I go over my thread, and then my end goes under that hoop, and I pull it tight to give myself a nice knot. And I am going to use this to stitch around my eyes, and I'm going to make my little mouth with this too. So I'm going to start here. I always want my string on the back. And I am going to stitch my little mouth in. I'm done with this side, and so I'm actually going to go back and I'm gonna stitch right up next to these holes to make this line down here a little bit more solid. So I have not taught you all of your stitches yet, but you can kind of make things up, and if you don't like how something looks, then you're going to go ahead and kind of figure out how to do that yourself. That's what people did when they first started sewing. Now we say there's all these sewing stitches, but when the first people started sewing, they didn't have stitches. They just used them and they figured out what would work for them. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing here where I am going back and I'm stitching right up next to my other stitches. And I'm even going to take this up through here. Oops, not the right place. To make this more of a, uh-oh. So it got tangled. You always want to make sure you pull it all out. So I have to untangle my thread. Something's mixed up back here. Uh-oh. I'm not sure. So this is gonna happen to you. And I'm not sure what to do here because my thread won't come either direction. I'm not sure what I did, but what I'm gonna do is to make sure I'm safe, I'm gonna stick with that thread that's on the front. I'm gonna cut these off and I'm gonna tie these in a knot to make sure this doesn't come apart. But sometimes you have to have creative solutions when things happen that you don't expect. So now I have a knot in there. It's gonna hold this, it's gonna hold that, and I just have a bit of a shorter string. Okay, so I am done with this one. And I do want to go up and work with my eyes, but now this string is pretty short. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start another one. I'd rather start another one than have this one. I'm going to tie my knot. Okay, these don't have to be so long back here. And I'm going to get some more of this thread. I'm going to thread my needle again. At this point, you guys should be getting pretty good at needle threading. All right. Pulled my two pieces together. I'm making my hoop, going over my thread, coming back underneath through the hoop, making my knot. And I'm going to first sew my eyes on for my kitty. I have to decide where I want these eyes to go. Still a little bit big, so I got some new scissors. These cut better. So I'm going to cut these a little smaller. There we go. That fits better. I do feel like the eyes should go up though. All right, so I've got my thread. I know where I want those eyes to go now. I'm gonna take that eye out and just sew this first one first, finding the corner. Sewing this eye on first. So I'll pitch in fast motion again. point were to here, and I'm going to put this little eye on here, but I'm going to hold it on with this button. So I'm going to take my purple thread that I just sewed the eyes on with. I'm going to go up through the middle of the eye, and to do a button you have to come up through one of the buttonholes, pull up, make sure you're pulling that thread all the way through. I'm putting my button where I want it to go. I'm going to then sew down through this buttonhole, pull it down. And then this one gets a little tricky because I've got to get my needle, and I kind of see where my needle's at to get it in the right place. And I've got to sew back up through that buttonhole again and back down. So there's that one done, and now I'm going to do the other eye. So this is my little kitty applique embroidery. You can add more things on here. You could cut little things out of here. You can use your hoop to do another little embroidery if you would like to. You can order another little kit from me. I can make up extra kits for you if you would like that have extra materials in them, and I can mail them to you, or you can pick them up. For Capital Day Kids, take a picture. Make sure you post it for me so I can see it. And then if you would like more materials, you can email me, and when you come up to pick another packet, when your parents do, I will put some more materials in there for you. Thank you very much. This is a longer video. This is a pretty hard project, so even if it didn't turn out exactly like you liked it, you did a great job. Sometimes just learning how to do something the first time and making something, even though it's not perfect, is part of the process. So continue to create at home, and I miss you guys.